Hello, everyone, and welcome to the first Glimesh team meeting post Alpha launch. My name is Cologne18, and I'll be your host for tonight. I feel like I've already started on this path of introductory, so I'm just going to keep going. Tonight we have a very special team meeting for you, where this is the first team meeting after the launch. I want to thank everyone for being here. As a reminder, if you're talking in chat or you're going to talk over voice in Discord, your voice or text will be recorded and published to YouTube. It's also being live streamed right now to glimesh.tv. So thank you all for joining tonight. We do this meeting every Wednesday, or not every Wednesday, every week on Tuesday with a very similar format. We cover some metrics, we cover some wins, we cover some challenges, and that's basically it. We always spend time at the end to answer any kind of questions you may have or anything that you've been meaning to ask for a while. So if you're interested in asking those kind of questions, just stick around until the end. We'll end this recording, and then the live stream will continue for about an hour more. Thanks everyone for joining tonight. There's a whole bunch of people here. We're actually streaming this live on Glimesh, which is awesome. And if we go to Glimesh TV right now, there are streams. There's humans that are producing content on Glimesh. So that's super awesome to see. So welcome everyone. Thank you for checking us out. Let's get started here. All right, so we launched 1 week ago on Tuesday. So this next slide is going to cover some metrics. So we of course had a huge blip in our metrics, and we also skipped a week. So we skipped last week. And so this is actually 2 weeks on the left-hand side. So I've got a lot of numbers up in front of you right now. Let's start off on the left, and then we'll work our way to the right. So we always track social media because social media is very important for us. Social media is kind of the way we grow and the way we communicate. And for us, we want to have a very nice social media presence because we want to be able to reach a bunch of people. Whenever we're supporting someone or launching a new feature or doing any sort of promotion, we want to be able to reach a good amount of people and kind of bring that support towards the community. So from Discord perspective, we went up 2,474 new users, and you can definitely see that. We lost control of our welcome channel, and it used to be personalized welcomes, and now it's just a spam message list of people joining and going crazy. So welcome everyone. If you didn't get welcomed personally in Discord, welcome to Glimesh. On
Hello.
Twitter, we went up about 2,914 new followers, which is huge. I think on launch day we were doing 100, 200 followers an hour. It felt like. I think the first couple of days we had just so many new followers, so many new people exploring Glimesh. Reddit went up 151. Instagram 551, which is awesome because that puts us at about 1,000 now, which honestly Instagram's growing faster than the other platforms, it seems. Facebook went up about 234. Users, I don't even know how to describe this. We went up by almost double of the number of users we had before, so we have 15,199 new users on the platform. That's ridiculous. In addition, those users have created 396 new applications, so developer applications, bots, programs, all that kind of stuff. And then we've had 166 new support tickets. From the MRR perspective, that's monthly recurring revenue. That's kind of what we need to keep existing and surviving. We'll dive into this number more in depth in a second, but right now the MRR is looking to be about $8,000 a month. So we'll see exactly where that lands, and I'll show on the next slide how that breaks down. All right, now launch week metrics. The first disclaimer here is that these numbers are as best as we could calculate. We do actually track all of these things, but as I'm sure all of you are aware, there's been some kind of connectivity issues, so you don't always stay connected. Our viewer count is, I don't want to say the 122,000 is not real, but it's also it's not a perfect count of the number of people. It's more like the number of peak. So it's basically the sum of peak viewers across all of the channels at any given time. So we'll continue to refine these metrics as we go, but man, are they absolutely crazy. Since last week, we've had 6,604 streams. We've had 122,297 views, which is crazy. And then we've had 2,834 hours of content. Sorry, that's not the right section. 2,834 unique streamers on the platform have at least given us a try, and then 16,634 hours have been streamed so far. So that's about an average of 2 hours a streamer, so far since launch. So some of the streamers have given us quite a test. They've done 10-hour spans, 12-hour spans, 2-hour spans, and some streamers, just give it a try and come back later. We also had a huge outpouring to our support team where we had over 443 new support tickets for the past 2 weeks. Wait, what does that mean? I don't know what I'm talking. I don't know what I'm saying.
We had 262 support tickets just this week.
Oh, I see.
But for the total for the past 2 weeks since our last team meeting was 443
Got it.
tickets.
Okay, so last week alone, we had 262 new support tickets, and there's like 8 people that answer support tickets, and so it's pretty awesome to not only see those come in, but as far as I'm aware, they're basically all resolved at this point. I don't know what the longest stream is. We'll definitely dive into that after this. We can look and see. All right, so the next slide is pretty exciting. This would be our website analytics for the launch week. I added a couple of additional days in there, but it's pretty crazy. So let me, boom. So the site traffic for the launch week. So this includes basically Sunday before as well. We had 113 unique humans visit the website. That's insane. That's a lot of people. That's a medium-sized suburb town. We had 1.8 million page views, which was more page views than we had for the previous 8 months combined. So more people visited the site in the last week than the previous 12 months of combined traffic. And then the bounce rate, I don't know exactly. That doesn't really matter yet because that's going to change as people kind of visit the site. And then the average visit duration is about 10 minutes and 47 seconds, which is 10 minutes of people watching streams. So if, you can imagine for those 113 unique visitors, they watched about 10 minutes of a stream before they left. Now, of course, it averages out to, some people watch hours and some people watch minutes. So.
Do we know what the traffic?
That would be 113,000 instead of just 113.
113,000. Yep. 113,000.
Like Dooley said.
What'd you say?
Someone asked if we know what the traffic sources are for these numbers.
I do know what they are. We'll talk about that after. It's basically Twitter. There's some other sources, but mostly Twitter. All right, so the next page here is financials. Now, the first thing I'm going to warn everyone on is this is not finalized. This is not finished. The month hasn't even started. We also don't know, how many people are going to keep their subscriptions. We don't know how much the servers are going to necessarily cost. There's a lot of kind of ifs here. There's a lot of kind of guessing here. But in the past week, we have basically done a volume of $9,187. So I think it's actually about 10,000 that have actually processed through our network. So we've processed about $10,000. That means you've either subscribed to someone, subscribed to Glimesh, and that amount is basically over 10 grand. Now, of course, Stripe and several other people like to take their fees, so that number will change. You can also see down below here that by far our most popular subscription is basically the Platform Gold supporter, followed very closely by our channel subscription. So the channels hopefully is going to be what really drives us. That'll be what kind of we can really start increasing on the site. We want to get streamers as many subscriptions as we can. Not necessarily the platform, but definitely we do want platform as well. They all help. So let's cover the numbers on the right real quick. From a platform sub perspective, we've taken in $6,290. So that's people who did the gold or the supporter platform sub. Those are $5 and $25 respectively. Thank you. First off, thank you so much for supporting us. There's not really many perks that come along with those supporter plans, but by giving us any money, even if you can, if you can't, it's perfectly fine. There's no obligation whatsoever. You're allowed to use the platform for free, and we absolutely encourage it. But for those of you who can and who did, thank you definitely for helping us out there. Right now, I just want to make it clear to everyone, we're not taking any kind of, there's no salary coming out of this. What we're ultimately focused on right now, and the only thing we're focused on right now, is building up the war chest of Glimesh to make sure that month over month we can keep existing, we can keep surviving, and then hopefully get ourselves to a place where we're ultimately sustainable, even with paid employees. So for right now, we're all working for free, including me. Our financials are completely open. I'd love to talk with you about it. We don't, have any. There's no one on the books yet. So this is just hopefully going towards building up that war chest for servers and for costs that we are going to have. On the channel sub perspective, we did $3,658 in gross channel subs. So that's super awesome. That means that's like a whole bunch of channel subscribers. I don't know how many. And then tomorrow, which is our first payday, we're going to pay out about $1,810. So the way that'll work real quick, and don't worry, this is all kind of on your payments page, but the way it'll work is we're going to pay you out tomorrow on Wednesday, and that'll send the money from our Stripe account to your account. And then within, I think, 2 to 3 days, that will deposit into your own account. Now, there's going to be a whole bunch of learnings there. I want to prepare everyone. Some accounts may have a temporary hold. If you haven't verified your Stripe information yet, you may not get a payout exactly that day, but we will have sent the money to you. So all you'll have to do is verify that Stripe information, and then it'll automatically deposit into your account. And then the last thing there is the estimated server and bandwidth cost so far is about $2,300, and that's with the servers we have today and the bandwidth we have today. We have basically a pool of bandwidth, and then once we go over that, we're charged at an overage rate. We anticipate that this month we're going to have to pay overages on the bandwidth. That's not a problem. We base all of our profitability on the overages, but this number is going to go up as we kind of approach the end of the month. All right. Whew. So we'll continue to watch this. The financials will be what's very important to watch. We don't necessarily need to react to them. That's just, we don't need to do anything with the information, but we need to start to understand, how our subscribers are growing and changing each month. We need to understand how many people are giving refunds, how many people are doing chargebacks. All of these things we'll kind of learn over the first month. And then, hopefully we'll get into a point where we can actually project our revenue. Man, so many people in here, and I'm fanboying a little bit. I see a lot of streamers that I've been watching. And so for them to watch my stream, now it's like, whoa, okay. Well, not my stream, our stream. The stream that I'm hosting tonight.
Glimstream.
The Glim stream. I'm not going to mention any names, but you know who you are.
Is it
All
me?
right, keep moving. Paco, you haven't streamed yet. Don't lie. And that's too bad. You have the Comcast.
No, I went direct line instead of my workaround, so I actually have better internet now.
Oh, nice. All right. So we launched a week ago, right? We launched into alpha, and we've spent the past 6 months drumming up, what alpha is. Alpha to us is kind of the first, minimally viable product, the first thing we can release to you that will allow you to stream, allow you to receive payments, and then from there on out, it's kind of iterative improvements. So we launched last week to a lot of people. I don't know if you saw this chart here, but that's a lot of people. And I'm so grateful for that success. But I would say it's definitely a little bit more than we expected. And I think from my perspective, I was a little underprepared for how much traffic we were going to get, not only in that first week, but on that first day. That Tuesday was absolutely crazy. And so, what I want to talk about next is basically, how it went, and what we have to keep improving. So, we took all the feedback in the first week. We launched on Tuesday. There were some connectivity issues. There were some server issues. We actually had servers that were just kind of going down. We had things that were related to code and things that were just related to server administration. And we took each issue that was happening, broke it down, analyzed it, and tried to put out a fix for it. And I think we've done really well. Within the first week, we've committed at least like 10 hack branches and 25 oops branches. But overall, we're really starting to improve not only stream stability, but we improved the website, the response times on the website crashing. We've also improved, documentation around setting up your stream. We've really started to kind of respond to these issues, and that's what we're going to keep doing. Since we just launched our alpha, we're going to keep growing and changing and making sure that we're doing things right. So, I'm not going to read all this out. You guys can all read, but within the first week, I've heard a lot of people say this. They said day 1 was a little rough. Day 2 was a lot better. Day 3 was so much better. Day 4 was awesome. Day 5, I did a 24-hour stream with no problems. Right, that's not an exact quote. But people have just loved the progress we've made. And I think that the team absolutely kicked ass. There's several of us that took time off. But even throughout that, that time off and time back at work, people were up random hours of the night helping out with not only support tickets, but code, but debugging. People were helping with configuring streams. People were helping with moderating chats, with helping users learn how to tag, with playing all sorts of musical instruments to keep us going. Everyone did such an awesome job, and I'm super proud and happy with our progress and our success so far. And we're just gonna get better. This is the very beginning, and it can only go up from here. So I just want to thank you to all the team members, everyone who helped out. I want to thank you to all the community members who gave us the feedback, who gave us the knowledge, who gave us the criticism, who gave us the praise. Thank you all for that.
And you too, Clone. Thank you. I mean, you are part of that.
I just job here. I think the first night, so a lot of us, I think there's several of us who didn't sleep at all, but I can't do that. I don't know how any of you people do 24-hour streams. I absolutely cannot not sleep. If I'm awake for like 16 hours, I'm going to bed. It's just happening. But there were a lot of people who were up all night. I would go to sleep, I'd wake up, they'd be there. I know my first night of sleep after the launch, I woke up every 2 hours and I walked over to my laptop. I ran commands on my computer to make sure all the servers were up, and then I passed back out. So I know that all of us really pulled our weight there, and I really want to thank that as well. I think that's underappreciated, the time that's spent, but also the sacrifices that people have made, not only with their time, their hobbies, their work, their relationships. I know people have made sacrifices, and I really want to thank you all for that as well. All right, so we fixed a lot of shit. Things are a lot better now. We're gonna keep improving. We have a couple of hit list items that we're working on still. But currently, what you should expect is you can go to Glimesh, you can start a stream. You should be able to see that stream. There are some configuration issues that we're working through with different people's OBSs, but you should be able to stream. You should be able to chat. You should be able to use the API with your favorite bots. There's all sorts of things that you can do now. And then, what am I reading here? I don't even know how to finish this. Okay, yeah, so you can read that, and I'll move on here. And then we've also started to make improvements. So we launched, and then immediately there was feedback around chat scrolling, how we can do that better, around things like the tag selector, not being on the stream page. Of course, we would want that. We had, let's do this real quick. Hey, Wheels, can you mute? Thank you. We added live messages to your user profile so you can see when they're live. We did some fixes around the timeout functions and the timestamp functions, and the emote menu is now our own emotes at the very top, which is super awesome. So we've been making lots of improvements there. And then on the viewer experience side, we've worked on unmuting audio by default if your browser will let us, which I know a lot of people asked for. We also worked on remembering your audio preference. So if you set it to 40%, it'll automatically take you to 40% the next time you're there. And then a lot of other kind of just improvements. And then, this is kind of just a continuation of that. Sorry, wasn't prepared for this part super well. That's okay. This is just our patch notes. So we have our patch notes actually in our site-updates channel in Discord, if you're interested. It is basically just an itemized list of what changes day by day, allows you to keep up. They're kind of technical, so if you need, clarification, just let us know. I'm not crying. Why would I cry? I don't cry. I've never
Christoph
cried.
said you weren't programmed to cry.
There's like one movie where I cry.
I did not say that.
You did. I literally saw you.
I said you're not programmed to cry. Not that you are.
Oh,
That's what I said.
Yeah, that's what you said.
Oh, I thought that did not come across.
Paco, you better quit telling the truth over there.
All right. So what's next for Glimesh? So I kind of said this earlier. We're gonna chill out. We've been chilling out for the past week, and I don't mean that we haven't been working hard. We've absolutely been working hard, but we're going to work on stability. We're gonna work on not only stability of the website, making sure that whenever we deploy, it's not going to break for you. We want to keep working on the stream stability to make sure that when you can always hit start stream reliably and it'll show that you're live. There's a whole bunch of improvements there. I'm really focused on payouts. Payouts are going out tomorrow for the first time. We're sending money across the internet. We want to make sure we do that correctly. We want to make sure that we have the support tools that our GCT needs. I also have made it my own personal priority to work on channel safety. We've had a couple of incidents already with spammers in chats trying to spam and cause commotion and really inconvenience our streamers. And I don't like that. I don't want people to not feel safe and comfortable in Glimesh. So I'm going to implement a couple of anti-spam features, a couple of verification features for chatting. And then we've also worked on a couple of different ban methodologies for spammers as well. So we can hopefully, we can't prevent it perfectly, but we can hopefully help fight it off. And then after that, we're going to work on tag improvements. And I say this because, a lot of people are asking about roadmap, and they're asking about phase 2 of the roadmap, phase 3 of the roadmap, about the app. They're asking about console. Those things aren't going to happen right now. We're going to really continue to, hone our craft. We're going to work on what we do have today, and then we're going to approach those new features and those new ideas with a fresh set of eyes, with platform stability in place. That way we can just focus on the new, and we don't have to worry about, our infrastructure, breaking overnight. So I say that because we do have, of course, our phase 2 roadmap and our phase 3 for the alpha. There's a lot of items here that a lot of people want. There's also some items that aren't so important now. One of the important things to do for product development is to keep asking the question, is this still important? We know this was important 6 months ago when we made this roadmap, but is it still important now? And I think there's a couple of things here that have changed. One of the things that we want to do after we kind of feel comfortable to sleep at night, is we want to continue working on some of these important items, but we also want to evaluate what needs to be added, what needs to be changed. Things like a stream dashboard so you can see your metrics. That may become more important now that we actually have people streaming on the platform. We may have misunderstood how important that was before. So we'll have those conversations here soon. I don't think we're ready for that right now. We also have to take a little bit of a break to understand how Glimesh should work, how the company itself should operate, how it should be owned, right? Because right now it's just a one owner Inc., but that's not really how it should be. It should be more owned by the people that work on it. It should be more, hopefully written in such a way that it's a sustainable corporation, not necessarily a sell to the highest paying bidder. Those are the things that are important to me. So I want to kind of get the company figured out as well. I want to get the organizational structure of the company figured out. And those are going to take time, right? Because that means that, the team won't be able to develop things because we'll be working on, developing the company instead. So I say this because I want to set expectations, and no one's going to listen and just post Glim drops in chat instead. So that's going to be perfectly fine. We're going to keep moving.
No, they're just telling us what merch they want right now.
What the hell are the priorities here?
On merch, clearly.
We don't want stream dashboards. We want merch.
That seems to be about par for the
Screw your website. Give me a plushie and a hoodie and a beanie.
Did everyone see the little crocheted
Yes.
crocheted Glim drops? Did anyone see that?
Oh,
Someone's girlfriend made a crocheted Glim drop, and it was amazing. And we got to figure out how to sell those.
You know what? We can always just pivot then, because clearly people don't want a streaming site. They just
Oh.
want Glim drop merch.
Yeah, we're just gonna pivot. We're just gonna sell merch.
Cancel all.
The Bricks wants to sew plushies, so there we go.
Okay, we need 10,000 by tomorrow.
I'll DM you later. When can we pick them up?
I legitimately looked into plushies, but I can't find a website where they're not going to be an exorbitant cost for y'all, so I don't know what to do there.
When you say exorbitant, what do you like? $100?
Yes.
Okay, who would pay $100 for a Glimesh plushie?
I would seriously consider it.
Okay, we
Like,
have three
no
people.
lie.
I
do
guarantee you half of the people watching this would pay $100 for one.
Y'all want
Probably.
That's just cost too. I mean, we're gonna have to at least double it. Jeez.
Okay.
$200.
My point
All
still
right.
Just said
stands.
okay.
I think it was MJA.
Alright, well maybe y'all can have $100 plushies. We'll see.
All right. I'm gonna keep moving.
MJ's like, I'll trade you this MacBook.
I've got, yeah, we got payment plans for your plushies. We just need 5% of your subscriptions for the next 10 years, and then we'll give you a plushie.
Also, you have to stream 60 hours a week now.
Oh God, Then our name will have to start with a T instead.
Oh.
All right. So one thing I wanted to remind everyone on is, now that you're streaming on Glimesh, there are some very important stream settings that you need to have in OBS, or you will have a bad time. I guarantee it. People were so hypey. What's happy and hypey? Gosh, hypey. Jeez, stop talking.
The word you're looking for is crunk?
People were so hypey that that they just skipped all the settings and put in the stream key and just hit go live. And that's perfectly fine. But I wanted to remind everyone there are some very important settings that you need to change in OBS. Things like B-frames. You got to turn those off. You got to make sure that's 0. If you don't, it'll mess up your stream. Some of the settings are kind of more recommended. Things like the psycho-visual tuning, that's kind of more recommended. But for anyone who is having a bad time streaming, please make sure these are your settings. We are pushing out a patch soon to make sure that you can stream at 6,000 kilobytes per second without the server kicking you off of it. But that is still our service cap. If you're having issues streaming, if you're having stuttering issues, or you go to an offline screen frequently, it's, we're still looking into how to help diagnose those issues, but from what we've seen, it's generally internet. It's either, your internet and how it's connected to our servers, it's how our servers are connected to each other, or it's how our servers are connected to the viewers. And there's a lot of things at play there, so it's hard to exactly diagnose, but really what we've seen a lot of issues with so far is just like home internets. They're not used to this, fast bit rate, low latency type packet that we use. And so it can be kind of difficult and it can be hard to diagnose. And so if anyone's having issues with that, I want to remind you that we do have a streaming, what is it called? Streaming-help channel in Discord where we can try and help you diagnose it. But if your stream is skipping around or having issues, it could be a problem with kind of your network or somewhere in between the line there. Even if you have fiber, honestly, we've seen issues where your connection will be really good because it's fiber, it's light, but you'll have hardware in between that's blocking. Or even I heard from Hayden, one of his friends, Dan, had an Ethernet cable that was miswired and gave like terrible packet loss. And so even if you have like what you think is the perfect internet, it doesn't necessarily mean that you'll have a perfect stream.
I saw something up here I wanted to try and catch, and I of course did not. Would it be possible to update that page to show a full NVENC new setup? I bumped into quite a few streamers who felt they needed to use X264 only.
That's a good point. Sounds like a good idea.
Sounds like that's a suggestion, maybe?
You can use NVENC, you can use X264, you can use the AMD encoder. All of them should work. It's really going to be dependent on your system, honestly. Some people prefer X264 because it normally happens on your processor. Some people prefer NVENC because it happens on your GPU. It really just depends on what you want. The one thing I've noticed is the AMD encoder is really hard to configure. There's a lot of settings there. And so I have personally haven't figured out the perfect configuration for it yet. Yeah, they're called something else in NVENC. There should be B-frame still, but I think profile is still called profile, and there's still a baseline option. Keyframe interval, I think is just called like keyframe or something, but there should be similar options.
I can grab a screenshot.
All right. And then, of course, if you need support, there's a lot of people here. If you need help, we're here. We're here to help. We've got not only our email support, which is really helpful for account issues, payment issues, any kind of trust or safety issues that you may have. We have our support site, which documents everything: how to customize your channel, how to create Markdown, how to change your username, how to use OBS, how to ban a person, how to unban a person, how to mod someone. If you go to support.glimesh.tv and search it, you'll probably find an article for it. We also have our Discord, which has our channels for bugs, questions, and streaming help. Those are all really good resources. And then we have not only our team who's here to help you, but there's a whole bunch of volunteers who honestly know better than I do at this point. So thank you everyone who's volunteered to help people as well. And then if you do have issues, or if the site is down or we're having issues with that, you can always look for updates on our Twitter and our Discord. Hopefully in the future we'll have like some kind of status page, but we're not there yet. All right, and that is the team meeting. Thank you everyone for being here. We're gonna probably talk soon about what these team meetings look like going forward. These actually end up taking up probably about 6 hours of a day to kind of put together and make sure it's right and to kind of prepare for it. So we'll see exactly what that looks like in the future. We may do bi-weekly, we may do monthly, but we'll always be here doing some form of team meeting. This is a very important method of discourse for us, so we want to keep it up. I want to apologize to the team for kind of having it last minute today. I ended up having to shift to other things, and then Christoph thankfully helped out. and then hopefully next week we can do it a little bit more in advance. All right, that's it.
All
So
right.
what I'm going to do now is I'm going to end the stream, or sorry, stream is staying. I'm going to end the recording.
Go ahead.
I want to thank everyone for being here. Have a good night.